Hey, everybody. Welcome to ConCarolinas Television. I'm your host, Bronner, for this week, and we are talking with some very special guests. And we'll start over there with Scott. Why don't you introduce yourself, Scott?
Scott Cannon, part owner of Dead Eds, zombie lover
Extraordinaire.
And
to your right
yes,
is...
This is my wife, Stacy.
Yay! All right, so that's his wife, Stacy, a woman of few words. But and to the right of me, I have
Jeff Starnes. Hello.
All right, and we're all pretty much zombie lovers as a whole. We just had an argument: who's the biggest zombie lover? He's like, "Oh, I've seen zombies from Mars or the moon," and we just started bickering, and I just conceded that they are the absolute zombie king and queen, which they should be. Once you hear their resume, you will be very, very impressed. As well as Jeff's resume is quite spectacular and much bigger than mine. I've seen lots of movies. I've played lots of tabletop and RPGs. I even played a living card game or a collectible card game. But I love The Walking Dead, and that's why I said I need to host that show. So how did you guys get into zombies? Just anyone jump in.
Anyone? Oh, I'll jump in first.
All right.
Well, it was Resident Evil is what got me into it. What, 1996 or so?
Raccoon City, baby.
Oh yeah, Raccoon City, Spencer Mansion. But anyway, when I got into that and I read like the directors and stuff that did the game, and they got heavily inspired by George Romero, then I went back and watched Night of the Living Dead and all the zombie movies, and that's what got me into it.
All right. And who's next? Stacy.
Growing up, my dad was a huge horror movie fan. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Right. The first one I really remember was Return of the Living Dead. The brains. That scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah. All right, Scott, and what about you?
Romero.
Naturally.
Horror started very young. After school, Dark Shadows would come on. That was like my first introduction to, a werewolf change, vampires. Mom was really into scary movies. They took me to see The Exorcist opening day. I was, 7? Squirm. She liked all the B movies, Frankenstein from Hell, Vampire Hunter. We saw all the good scary movies when we were kids growing up.
Yeah, same here. Especially Kate. In California, we had KTLA, which was Channel 5, and that's all they did on the weekend was air like old scary movies, and even like the parody of scary movies, like Abbott and Costello and all of that other good crap. But the way I got into zombies was when I was 16 years old. I joined a haunt that was right down the street from my house at Devonshire Downs. And we all went there, like a bunch of us from school, and we all decided that we were going to try out for this haunt. And I became Igor, and of course there was a ton of zombies. And I would go out into the audience, and I would pick up the plant, and I would throw her in the guillotine and chop her head off. So it was really cool. But that was kind of my first real experience, like my insatiable lust for the dead kind of thing. Not to quote any zombie kind of guy, but yeah, that's really what got me inspired into going down my cinematic path that led us here today. So there are some things that are in your resumes. I talked a little bit about their resumes earlier. Like Jeff, start us off. You were part of the Rowan County zombie outbreak response team.
Yeah, North Carolina zombie outbreak response team. has kind of a lot to say.
I'm sure it's an acronym in there.
It is.
But what did you do with that? I mean, what was that all about?
Oh man, it was something with doing the zombie walks and also kind of the preparedness type thing looped into that. Because I know everybody's familiar with the whole saying, if you're prepared for the zombie apocalypse, you're prepared for anything.
It's true. I've got a plan, or we have a plan.
Oh, everybody's got a plan. Got to have one.
All right. So you were part of our first experience. We moved to North Carolina. I think it was like 8 years ago, somewhere in there. And we went to Sheets to get some gas, which is a gas station right around the corner from us. And we're like pumping, and all of a sudden, like 30 vehicles come like racing into the gas station, and they all like are decked out with zombie stuff, like they're almost like Mad Max cars and whatnot. But they're not. But the most telling one was there was like a Ford Astro van that was all pimped out like as a zombie like apocalypse vehicle. So
Robin Mary.
It's still sitting in my driveway.
it's sitting in the small world is sitting in their driveway. But I mean, the world for me and the Salisbury Zombie Walk, which is what we'll talk about next. No, wait, let's back that up a little bit. Let's talk about Dead Ed's first. Dead Ed's was a store that was here in downtown Salisbury. And what happened to that? The actual storefront.
We opened a business and had a business downtown for 5 years. Okay, in that 5 years, I watched 35 businesses open and close in downtown Salisbury.
That's tough.
We spent our entire savings and retirement money trying to keep this store running, just because we had a niche mark.
We had it open for 5 years though, so it was a good 5 years. We had a good time with it. It was a lot of fun being part of the downtown community, and it did give us the opportunity to organize the zombie walks and do the things that we did. So,
well, actually, we were doing the zombie walk before we opened the store. We'll get to that later.
So they kind of like,
but Dead Ed's opened up. The first year was fantastic. The last 3 years, we started doing conventions and shows. And the money that we were making there was actually paying bills on a storefront that nobody was coming into anymore. So we were like, you know what? Let's just take it on the road. Now we've been doing conventions and shows for
6 years now.
6 years. Get to do all the fun stuff, and still it made more money the first year doing shows than it did 5 years with a storefront. It was insane.
wow.
Oh,
No,
Oh, wow.
right.
thank you, Gogomi.
All right. So I never got a chance to go into the brick and mortar building. But I was around the corner one night, and this was a Friday night. And we were there checking out a couple of live bands, and it was a place called Uncle Buck's. And we were invited that same night to go to the zombie walk. Well, Rachel, my lovely wife, of course, and co-host, she had to work that following Saturday. And we didn't know anybody else in town. We had just moved here. But it was something that I always wanted to do. But I believe that was probably the last zombie walk downtown. Because then you guys moved to the fairgrounds for 1 or 2 years?
Just the one.
Just
1 year.
Just the one.
Which wasn't like in the middle of a natural disaster, like there was a typhoon or something. A hurricane.
Yeah.
A typhoon in North Carolina. We get them all the time. But it was a hurricane, and it literally was the day of the zombie walk at their new location, which was at the Rowan County Fairgrounds. So that was pretty interesting. So Zombie Walk, tell me a little bit about how it started. What was it initially about? And all the work that you guys really kind of put into it made it a great thing.
All right. Graveyard Boulevard, the band that I was in at that time, we got invited to do a zombie walk at Myrtle Beach. And it was for charity, which was fun. You know, we liked charity. And the group that was with the band, we got to talking on the way back. It was like, you know, why can't we do this ourselves for a charity in our hometown?
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun to do at home?
For sure.
So a handful of us got together and started planning. We picked the Humane Society for a charity. The first year was...
It was really small.
It was really, yeah, probably 100 people.
No.
Not even that.
No, that first year was the year we set up in the parking lot at Taboo.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, we probably had 20, 30, 40 people.
Yeah, you know, for our first one, so it wasn't very big.
And then the next year we had the store open.
Yeah.
So that's when it really started to grow.
Yeah, it really picked up then. And then the third or fourth year,
we started booking the zombies.
Yeah, we started booking AMC walkers. Sonia Thompson and Larry Malin
were the first.
Were the first two.
And we had met them at a convention.
Yeah.
And gotten their contact information.
Yeah. We had the parking lot behind the shop, set up stage, sound, had bands all day. We were staffed for 600 people, and 2,000 people showed up.
Wow.
The city kind of freaked out. It was fun.
And the city was like, "Oh my God, where are you going to put all these people?" You know. And the parking lot is full of zombies, and Sonia and Larry are making money and doing autographs and photos, and they donated part of their autograph money to the charity.
Oh, nice.
And it was probably the best
one we ever did.
Bands were coming up to me, coming off the stage going, "Oh my God, dude, we've never played to this many people before in Salisbury."
So were they all like local bands from
All
Salisbury?
local bands.
Nice.
I didn't sign anybody. The only people that we paid for were the AMC walkers, and we contracted them and booked their hotels, and they got there early. They walked around downtown and went into shops. All the AMC walkers are fantastic people. Okay, I've never met a more outgoing group of people for the fans.
Yeah.
They were magnificent, and they were all about the charity.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine from California. She actually auditioned and was on one of not the Walking Dead show, but she was on one of the makeup shows. And what the prize was a performance in The Walking Dead. So they, made her all up in this amazing makeup that took hours upon hours to just get in for just a couple of extras that were walking by the camera kind of thing. But it's really amazing the amount of hours that they put into the makeup in creating these AMC zombies. What do you call them? Walkers.
Walkers.
AMC walkers.
So I know zombies.
Hey, see, this was the fight earlier, but I'm old. I can't really fight anymore. I've got one leg. It's crazy. So, and he's picking on me because I got one leg. But in any case, so that kind of steered you down the road. You closed the brick and mortar building, and you decided to do conventions because they were more lucrative, right? And you've got multiple setups, like different size conventions. You can go big, massive setup to like a kind of like a little booth kind of thing.
Yeah. I've set up on a 3-foot bar table before.
Oh, they've got some flexibility going on here, but they really do a lot of conventions and they meet a lot of people. So tell me a little bit about your guys' experience. And I know you guys met like at Heroes Con, right? The three of you.
Actually, we met
We
before
met.
that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
he was.
I know I have pictures of you all three from Heroes Con, but
Yeah, oh yeah.
so you guys were all involved in the zombie walk kind of thing.
Yep.
Zombie
But-
response team.
The zombie
walk,
response
it
team
was-
tied right in
Oh, for
to
sure.
the walk.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So getting into the convention circuit, I know just by keeping up with you through social media and whatnot, I know that you guys see a lot of famous people and you rub noses and elbows and any other body part you can with these people, and you make lifelong there it is. You make lifelong friends from this kind of thing. So it's got to be exciting to me. So tell me some of the people that you've met just having a booth at these conventions.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, we see the slides with all the walkers.
Yeah, that's Aaron right there.
Aaron, yeah.
Right?
That's Mike Koski. He's several zombies in The Walking Dead. Hilarious guy. He's also in Guardians of the Galaxy. There was some other local or another TV show that he was on. But Mike is a super nice guy.
That's where we met Sonia Thompson.
Sonia Thompson,
She
Larry
was like the-
Malin.
Yeah, Sonia was the first zombie you see in the first episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, she's the girl in the back seat of the car when Rick rides the horse in downtown. That's Sonya there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that she's the first
she's
female
fantastic.
zombie you see in the back seat of the car downtown
We
Atlanta.
actually met Chandler Riggs a couple of times, and
Yeah. Santiago Cirillo played
Scott's
Julio
boyfriend.
in The Walking Dead. Yeah, my boyfriend.
Scott's boyfriend.
I've been hearing about this guy for 8 years.
Love Santiago. Santiago has a thing for. Yeah, you're right.
See, he did it.
But he does a wounded soldier thing. He's ex-military. I love him like a brother. And
Tell me the story about the 4-foot lady that owns or is a librarian or a school teacher or whatever. She was also the governor's daughter.
Savannah, right there, on my left in the photo. Greg French is the barbed wire zombie. The guy on the far left of me. Savannah is a school teacher. She played the governor's daughter in Chains. She was the Carl's stunt double when Carl was
When Carl was little.
when Carl was
Yeah.
too small. They have an age limit on guns on a movie set.
In
sure.
Hollywood rules and stuff like
So-
that. So
She has on Carl's clothes with the hat, and they show the back of Carl pulling the trigger. That's actually Savannah pulling the trigger.
Wow, that's crazy. It's amazing too because she looks like she's just a kid, so that's why she was able to play the governor's daughter, who I think was probably 13 or 14 in the episode or what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing look, right? And I'm really jealous that they get to go to so many conventions. I mean, they have to work them. I mean, it's their livelihood, part of their livelihood. But they get to meet all these amazing people from a bunch of different conventions. Is it mostly East Coast kind of stuff that you do, or
yeah,
or
we
what?
stay fairly local.
Yeah.
North Carolina,
Atlanta, Virginia?
Georgia,
Virginia,
Virginia, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do pretty much the South kind of thing going on.
Southeast.
Nice. All right.
The funniest story.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Bruce Campbell. We met Bruce Campbell at Mad Monster Party.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell yelled at us.
So did his bodyguard.
Well, it's funny because Stacy's dad is a pilot, and he flew the plane in the second Evil Dead movie.
I have pictures.
Yeah, so we're standing in line to get his autograph, and his handler is like livid.
Short version. Yeah.
You know, really pissed
Short
off
version.
about the line. All right, so
Not this.
all right, we get on the stage, and we put the page down, the picture down, and Bruce, it's like calls our names, and then he starts to sign, and Stacy says, "My dad flew the plane in the second Evil Dead movie," and drops like 3 photos on the table, and he goes, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
And he goes to hand us the photo, and he looks down, and he says, "Hey, I want to see those." So she hands him the stack, and he starts going through the photos, and he's like, "I've never seen these before. You know, Raimi set all this up on the phone, and the plane gets here," and I'm like, "What a piece of crap!" And
Right.
and
That was
Stacy
okay.
snaps.
That's your
dude.
dad's
plane.
plane.
That was a
Yes.
that's
That's a Beech-18. You know, that plane's still flying today.
yeah, that plane rocks.
So
So yeah, I get the pictures back, and then Scott has to tell him that we have a stone from the cabin.
yeah, the band was playing in Morristown, Tennessee, and we had a fan take us to the cabin. And
Where they shot the
the
Evil Dead
cabin had
movie.
burned down, and you know the holes in the ground there, and
All that's left is the chimney.
so
and
we have
bunch
a
of the
stone, and
stones
he stands up and yells at me, says, "You kids stay
Kids-
away from that
Kids?
farm. That farmer will shoot you in the ass." And, it's Tennessee, and that land's posted. And,
So yeah, Bruce Campbell yelled at us.
yeah,
So
See, and if you weren't part of the convention circuit, you would have never had that experience.
oh, exactly.
Which is pretty freaking cool. So let's talk a little bit about, and I'll kind of direct this. I don't know if Scotty or Stacy, if you guys read any of the comics of the Walking Dead series,
Not
or if you're
much.
just kind of going in. But Jeff was a big fan of the comics. So tell us a little bit about what your opinion is of the comic series versus the AMC television series.
TV series.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Daryl is not in the comics. That was somebody they made up specifically for the TV series. Because I've had a lot of people that were into the show, and I'll tell them it's based on the comic, and then they read the comics and where the hell's Daryl at?
Right, and he's a fan favorite,
Yeah.
so obviously they're going to.
I'm like, he's not in the comic.
Yeah, that should have been a disclaimer at the beginning of
That
the
should have been,
introduction.
yeah. And also, and the funny thing about the comics is when they did the 10th anniversary, I went back and read the interviews with Rob Kirkman and everything. And he originally was going to call it Night of the Living Dead because it was like, what is it with Night of the Living Dead's not like, doesn't have a patent or something to it. It's a free domain. That's it.
Open license.
Yeah, open licenses. And they're like, no, do better. Do Walking Dead. Let's do that. So he did that. And then his whole point of the story, at least what he kept telling the president of Image, was, okay, well, how does virus happen? How's everybody infected? And he's like, oh, it's aliens. And they're like, okay. And every story arc, when aliens going to show up? Oh, don't worry, aliens are going to show up soon. And he kept that going for like 30 issues, and they're finally like, there's no aliens, is there? He's like, nope. They're like, well, you're doing good on sales, so we'll keep it going. But yeah, from the difference from the TV series, it's just like some of the characters. I mean, the core stories there. I mean, I did like how they did the CDC thing, and because in the comics they didn't go to the CDC. They didn't even think to do that because I think they ended up like going to the prison, doing that, and then also how they find out how everybody's infected was it Dr. Jenner from the CDC that tells them, and then that carries on to season 2, and you finally find out
that was the season finale of season 1.
Yeah, and kind of in the comic, I think the only way they found out was somebody, I think it was Tyrese's daughter, gets shot, but she wasn't bitten, but she comes back. So they kind of figure it out on their own. But a lot of like the core story is like pretty much the same for the TV series. I mean, now that Carl's not in the TV series, it seems like they're taking a lot of characters from the book and just sticking it with different characters from the TV series.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be hard to actually go from a Rick Grimes centric zombie show that had source material to draw from, which were the comic books. He's in the comic book still, or he was in the comic book still at that point in the story arc. So it's hard it's like, okay, are they just kind of making it up from there? You know, I mean, they've got amazing screenwriters that are developing amazing plot twists to the next few episodes that are coming up, which it's kind of weird how they split it up. They split it up like a part A, part B, and a part C. So we've seen part A. Part B starts the 20th of February, that Sunday. And then part C will finish up sometime down the road in 2022. So it's just kind of odd that they would segment it like that. But from what I understand from some of the things that I'm reading is that they're going to go down kind of a different story arc and not follow a traditional Walking Dead story arc. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I know what they say it is, and they're giving it a huge thumbs up. So a lot of the people that are reviewing the show are saying that we're in store for great things, even though it's not traditional Walking Dead story arc. It's going to take a few twists and turns, but it's coming our way. So that being said, we've gone through a huge relationship on and off again, sometimes ending dramatically with these characters in the show. So Stacy, what are some of your favorite characters in the Walking Dead arena?
Daryl and Negan.
Boom.
Maybe for obvious reasons.
They're both hot.
Right? The beginning of the one season where Negan's holding Daryl in the cell and he's got him on. So yeah.
Okay. And then I was actually supposed to answer that question first, and my answer would be exactly the same as Daryl and Negan. I'm Team Negan all the way. But you were going to say something else, Stacy?
Oh yeah, that for that season premiere where Negan's got Daryl in the cage. Yeah, they showed that, and I looked over at Scott and I said, "Yeah,
all I want for
Negan
Christmas
loves me, and he wants me to be happy."
All right, Jeff. What about you? What are some of your favorites?
Favorites?
Yeah, drawing from the comic or the actual TV show. Doesn't matter.
Well, definitely TV show will be Negan. I like him because of the whole, because he's an really evil person, and he's like trying to redeem himself now. And I kind of like that change.
we won't talk about the scrambled eggs that he left on in front of the trailer at all. The most shocking thing that happened on television ever. And I think a lot of people said, you know what, that's just a little too much for me. Oh, yeah. And they just cut the cord at that point. And I was one of those persons initially. And then I was like, watched it a second time. And I said, I was, Team Glenn. I loved Glenn. I thought he was beautiful, man. And man, just having that happen just kind of turned a lot of people off. And I am not surprised to learn that they lost a lot of viewership because of that scene. But I have to say that they gained a little respect by having the Conans, the gonads enough to actually show something like that. And I know it's not network TV, but it's the next closest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got kid programming on it, you know. So not that that was any way, shape, or form kid friendly at all. But I mean, you could have seen it coming, kind of, with. I mean, because they jacked up Abraham too. So as soon as they jacked up Abraham, you should have probably turned it off. But nobody did, and everyone saw Glenn. What happened to Glenn? So, and it was really, he was just a pile of pulp. I mean, let's just call it what it is. All right. So that was our basically our view on characters. Everyone likes Negan. Did you get to go on characters?
I did not.
Scott, tell me your favorites.
I'm a Michonne fan all the way.
Why?
Likes that katana.
Are you kidding? The first scene of her dragging those two zombies with that sword, I was like, yeah, this chick right here, she's about to take names.
I think everybody was confused as to why she was doing that, dragging the zombies.
Keep the other zombies off.
Yeah, of course it's apparent now. It's either you wear zombies or you watch
Whisperers. Yes.
Whisperers.
I
Great
love the
story arc.
Whisperers. Oh my God.
One of my favorite story arcs in all of The Walking Dead.
Absolutely.
It was just amazing. I mean, I loved it more than the Governor. I loved it more than, dare I say, the Saviors. I loved it. I just loved the Whisperers. I loved everything about it. But you know what I loved most? Beta. Beta was another one of my favorite characters because he was just, let's face it, he was a badass.
Yes.
And he was Opie from
Opie.
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy, yeah.
So, and I didn't know that at first. And I'm like, man, I kind of got a little glimpse of recognition. But yeah, I learned it when he went into the bar and I could hear like the country song and I saw like it was like a little close up and I said, that's Opie. And I was very, very happy because he was one of my favorite guys on Sons of Anarchy. And he was one of my favorite people on The Walking Dead. So, but yeah, I mean, Alpha, she was something else. I mean,
yeah,
that she's just a scary, scary person. The way she treated her family, her daughter, man, I wouldn't want to mess with that. But the story arc of the Whispers was just a good one all the way through. And they introduced some characters that I really liked. I can't remember the lady that was deaf, but she turned out to be a really great focal character in the series, and a couple of other people. But the thing I want to ask you guys is that, all right, so give me your very favorite Eugene moment. I'm going off script a little bit, but I need your favorite Eugene moment.
wow.
Right?
I know, right?
Gasp. Off script is right. Anyone can answer out. Eugene moment.
My favorite one when he actually admits that he lied about who he was, find out the radio doesn't have batteries in it, and then Abraham beats the crap out of him.
Yeah. I like it when he actually went to the Savior's camp and started being their bitch and making their ammunition
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, but he redeemed himself.
He did
there,
redeem
so
himself.
That's probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime he's explaining something scientifically,
Yeah.
those
love
are
it.
always my favorites.
Yeah, just his cadence and the way he talked was just really cool because it kind of reminded me of like that nerdy kid at school in the 70s and 80s, you know, that would talk like that, and you didn't really have an appreciation of that person until you got older.
Funny story about him. We met him at XCon at Myrtle Beach one year.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy, a regular Joe, walks in off the street with the giant super mullet, dude. And I grab Eugene by the arm and I'm like, dude, this guy's got you beat. And he went, I applaud you, sir, on your super mullet.
That was a pretty good impersonation.
I know it was.
All right. So we talked a little bit about, well, my favorite Eugene moment actually was when he started talking to the girl this last season, when he
On the
started
radio.
talking to the girl of the radio, Stephanie.
Yeah.
And, you know, that she was part of the community and how he was gushing and just loving on her and then going to meet her and, you know, watch the show. Things do not turn out well at that point. So watch the show for sure. All right. So we talked a little bit about the part A, part B, and part C coming up. What do you expect from the last, I don't know, let's say 16 more episodes, I think there are in total. Scott, what about you?
Well, all the spinoffs, you know, the Fear the Walking Dead and what we call the
Zombie Stand By Me.
Zombie Stand By Me episodes.
The World Beyond.
Yeah, The World Beyond.
It is. It looks like it's all heading in the same direction.
Yeah, I think
So-
everything's going to tie in together. They're going to wrap it up in a nice little bow.
And kind of merge.
Unlike
kinda
they
connect
did in the
everything
comics when
and-
they just stopped, right?
Yeah, they just abruptly
Cut it
stopped.
off.
Yeah.
It's like, let's finish this out, you know,
Yeah.
not Josh Whedon style.
That's not Firefly. That. Oh,
So, yeah,
That's good.
We think they'll bring it all, everybody back together.
Everything will
tie
come full
everything
circle?
up and-
Oh yeah.
you think Glenn will be there?
No, but Rick will show up. You know,
Rick will make a
I
cameo.
think Rick will be back.
I think
That's what
Rick's
the
on
movies
next
are for,
season
right?
Survivor.
I think that's what the movie. Yeah, I think Stacy's right. I think that's what the movies are for. Then.
I bet the movies will be like the grand finale of all that stuff.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking, you know, everyone's like, oh, it stopped. You know, the viewership just tanked after they killed off Abraham and Glenn.
Yeah.
And it was true. I mean, partly true. But if you look at just like their Instagram page for the AMC Walking Dead, I mean, they've got tens of millions of viewers and followers.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
still crazy, people. And I'm looking forward to these next episodes because it got like 4.5 out of 5 stars, which is really kind of traditionally where they've been in ratings wise. So I'm looking forward to it, especially because they're saying there's going to be some curveballs as far as the story arc is concerned. And it might not be your traditional, let's meet an outlaw group. Let's defend our homeland versus the outlaw group. And then everyone's getting attacked by hordes of zombies. So it's not that. And they're not just regurgitating something. They're starting something fresh, which is why I think it was highly touted or is highly touted to have the things. What do you think is going to happen, Jeff, in the last episodes?
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with Scott and Stacy on this one. I think it is going to kind of merge together everybody from the different spinoffs that are going to show up probably in The Walking Dead. And then probably about the last episode or season finale of that, we might get like a post-credit of Rick Grimes. And then they'll probably talk about the movies then. You know, probably like a trailer or something, kind of like a Marvel trailer post-credit type thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I can kind of see that happen. I mean, it's a possibility. All right. So, do you think it should end? Do you think it's just time now? Stop talking to my ear producer because I'm just laughing. Should it end, Scott? Do you think it should end?
You know, I think everything has an ending. All the series, MASH, which ran for decades, everything's going to come to an end,
Right.
you know.
And it's probably about run its course. If you think about it, it was vampires before that. mid 90s. You started with the Anne Rice and you moved into the Blades and
Dracula
then-
2000.
well, and then
Then
you
the
had
sparkling
True Blood.
vampire.
And God forbid
then-
Twilight.
Yeah.
They sparkle. But let's not
Yeah, I
talk
think
about
that
that.
killed it. I think that really killed it for the vampires. No, we
No,
love
no,
Dracula
no,
to death.
Dracula Untold was the
Twilight
bomb.
Twilight probably ended the vampire career. I mean,
Yeah, but
which is
just
probably
like
gonna
the
do it for Batman
vampires
too.
before them, I think the zombies have probably run their course.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what they'll do next.
I agree with that to some extent. I'm sorry to see some of it go. I would like to see maybe a spinoff or two with just some of the like a key core character, like maybe Daryl or something,
Well, they said they're going to.
and the great adventures of Daryl, and let him meet people and
Kill
do
people.
his Daryl thing, which is highly entertaining. But yeah, I mean, all right. So with that being said, what do you think is your Stacy best?
I can't read it. It's-
The base your best Walking Dead memory, Stacy. I'm gonna read the chat. Sorry to ignore you.
Oh no, you got to.
Your best Walking Dead memory?
All right, we do Walking Dead together.
Okay, so
I can tell you
hers is Negan in the
what
cage.
I think is our best Walking Dead moment
Okay.
ever. I think we had a walk or something, a band something, and Dave Harlequin and a bunch of people were crashing at my house.
Yeah, it was the weekend that Walking Dead first premiered.
Yeah.
Season
Yeah.
1, episode 1.
Oh yeah,
And
we were hanging out
2010.
with all those guys.
And we had DVR'd it because we were somewhere
Wherever.
else. And we were like, hey guys, you want to watch this season premiere of The Walking Dead? And they're like, yeah, sure, absolutely. So we pull it up. And the whole first episode, Rick wakes up and
all the stuff happens, and at the end, he's riding the horse down into downtown into downtown Atlanta.
yeah, so he and just as he gets into downtown and apocalyptic downtown Atlanta, Harlequin stands up in my living room and goes, "That's BS. No, they really cleaned up downtown Atlanta for this movie."
That is one of the best Walking Dead
That
moments
was
I've
the
ever heard.
funniest thing. I had to pause the show because everybody was laughing so hard.
That's awesome. All right, Jeff, what's your favorite memory? Try to top that.
I can't top that. No way.
Right? That's why I defer to you. Throw you under the bus
Oh, no.
in Atlanta.
Oh, God,
It's
my
clean.
favorite. Let's see, favorite Walking Dead. Yeah, there's no way I could top that. Oh man. Let's see. Dang, I'm gonna have to really think about this one. You wanna go back to Stacy?
Oh no, I'll run away.
That was
Oh
our
dang, that was both of y'all.
Yeah,
I'll
what-
get up and run away if you do that again.
What they're saying is in the chat that, of course, the zombie craze, like Random Rick says, the zombie craze lasted way too long. Just watch Day of the Dead, call it a day. And then Ray says that they need to give The Walking Dead an ending that it deserves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Random also says that, like Lost didn't get the ending it deserved. Trust me, I invested in that show and it did not get the ending it deserved. Yeah, or Game of Thrones did not get the ending it deserved.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, okay, there are so many great. Yeah, they never get to Mortal Kombat,
Mortal Kombat.
which is a carryover from last week's show. But it's sad because they always seem to, I don't know, for lack of a better term, just like just blow it by giving you everything during the course of the seasons that they're just literally out of shit to do. They've got nothing left to do. I mean, they've done it all. They've regurgitated stuff a couple of different times. So how do you end with a giant crescendo and this opus when you've pretty much had an opus every year for the last 11 years? That's a long time for a show to carry. But I want to throw out a challenge to the Walking Dead producers. Hey, if Grey's Anatomy can go 17 seasons, The Walking Dead should go more than 11. Enough said. I mean, come on. Really? Okay. So Walking Dead is going to be February 20th will be the 9th episode in the 24 episodes that they've got coming out.
Yep.
And I'm going to watch it as it happens. I'm hoping I can get AMC Plus. I've got every other streaming service known to man. I just don't have AMC Plus. But hopefully I'll be able to get that so I can watch it, because I have really enjoyed the last few seasons. I mean, like I said earlier, The Whisperers, it's probably top 5 seasons, top 3 seasons maybe, if not the best that I had ever seen. And I like Rick too, but I'm just Team Negan all the way, or Team Daryl. I mean, sometimes I'm Team Carol. And sometimes, I go through it. I was Team Maggie a couple of times before she got like a little bit weird.
Carol moment. Look at the flowers.
That's the best.
That's my favorite Carol moment.
Tears your heart.
Just look at the flowers.
Look at the flowers.
We still say that.
We still say that to each other.
I love that. I mean, that's what this culture has meant to the world. I mean, we quote it in our life, and it really becomes a part of pop culture, right?
Yep.
And it becomes a part of just the way we live, and we'll remember it. And these dudes will be at conventions for years to come.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if like Sid Haig can be in conventions for like 40 years until basically his dying breath, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
These guys are going to have a long run at conventions. Even if they get pulled into other shows, man, there's good money to be had at conventions. But I don't know. I think ConCarolinas will do a fantastic job at getting guests. I don't think we're going to get anybody from the cast of The Walking Dead, but we're going to get some pretty amazing people. And you should really go to ConCarolinas.org and get yourself some badges. I think there's even a promo code, and I can't remember off the top of my head. It's about a Con Buddy, I think, maybe.
Con Buddy.
Con Buddy is the thank you, Scott, for reassuring me. So go get your badges. Just follow the links on ConCarolinas.org. Get your badges. You'll get one at full price, the second one at 50% off. So it's a good time to buy because there is a promo code. And you'll get to see some really amazing stuff. And I've bought some really amazing art and books and all kinds of great things at that convention. We're blowing up gaming this year. So you guys will
be there. So.
Yeah, you guys were there last year, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I remember, do you guys remember the Fudge Guy?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, who doesn't remember the Fudge Guy?
Bacon fudge, pickle fudge.
Yeah, the bacon fudge was off the charts. I had red velvet. I had like 4 different types of fudges. I'm not gonna lie, I'm fat. I'm sitting lower than the cameras can see, but I'm a big dude, and I love me some fudge.
The whole thing's gonna be covered by Don Darrow too.
Yeah, right. But I'm getting to that. But he's gonna do all the virtual stuff. The guy that produces our show, Don Darrow. You go to his Twitch channel every time you want to see ConCarolinas TV. on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. He is going to be in charge of all of the filming and the live remotes and the virtual content. All of that stuff he's going to be filming and doing. And who knows, I might do some, Johnny on the street type stuff and walk around with a little handheld and get some interviews going on. I do have a job at the con, but I have a couple other people that work with me, so I'll be able to break away from that a little bit, and we're going to have a good time of it. And Dead Eds will also be a vendor at the con, and Jeff will be a guest of mine at the con if he wants to go. He's earned himself a golden ticket. And it's going to be a heck of a good time. Other things that are coming up, we're going to be doing a fun little, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be doing a fun little audience participation type of choose your own adventure or guess the ending or guess something over the next week or two on ConCarolinas television. The Batman with Robert Pattinson comes out, and we're going to be doing an episode strictly, obviously, from here at the Batcave, the official real Batcave.
Not really.
Like the poser Batcaves that we come to know and love. We've got competing Batcaves. Yeah. He's a zombie guy. I give him that. He should give me the Batcave.
If you look behind him, it's all new stuff.
That's because I'm a new school Batman guy. Except for this.
True Batman fans have vintage.
Okay, listen. If you like campy Cesar Romero type stuff, Adam West, who's not really a good human, charged way too much for autographs. If you're into that kind of stuff, then yeah, he's got the better Batcave. But my Batcave is full of stuff that people make for me. Look, I'm gonna grab one thing. Look at this bad boy. That was made for me. That is just super amazing. And I have salt and pepper. I mean, lots of things. Because people love to contribute to the real Batcave. Or whatever. The new Batcave.
The new Batcave.
We'll call the new and the old. And even though I'm an old dude, I should like the old stuff, but I don't. But Michael Keaton I love. But in any case, we'll be doing the Batman coming out. We're going to be doing some more gaming content. Yeah, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we did Ray Frank's game, Huntmaster, and we had the top cam view and the player panel and whatnot. We're going to be doing a lot more of that kind of stuff coming up. A lot of good movies are coming out, so we'll be talking about some movie content. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about the Halo TV show that's coming out. There's a lot of ConCarolinas TV programming that's going to be amazing. So keep an eye out in the group, the Facebook group. We'll be posting there a lot. You'll probably get sick of how much I post, but I like to promote myself a little bit. And this beautiful platform that Dondero has created for us. And at this point, I would like to thank my guests. We have Scott and Stacy Cannon. Amazing contributors, made me laugh the whole time as usual. And my good friend here, Jeff. I don't know if my arm came in from the left or the right, but my good friend Jeff here, who was really going to try to ground us into the graphic novel and comic book side of things, because that's really what he was inspired by. As far as the content, but he did a great job at answering a lot of the questions that we have, and I think that's up.
Hang on
for us. Oh, you got something to say, Scott? Okay.
Public service message.
Public service announcement.
Dondero at ConCarolinas with a waffle in his hand. Run away.
Run! Because the saying goes, he's just looking for people to slap with his floppy waffle. And on that note, this stream is brought to you by the floppy waffle, aka John
John
Dondero,
Dondero.
and ConCarolinas Television. And like I said, go to our website and get yourself some passes and use that buddy code. And thanks for watching. Long live The Walking Dead and long live ConCarolinas TV and Deadheads and Jeff and everybody. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We are out. Peace and love.